here we are trying to pull up on some birds. You can see kind of and hear them a little bit in the horizon. We were throwing a couple different things. One of the things that really we had the most success with was the good old-fashioned speck rig, meant for speckled trout. But I found that sometimes if they can't get bluefish to bite on other things, that sometimes in these blitzes, they're feeding on real small things, maybe real small minnows. And the speck rigs, which is really two small jig heads in tandem with a little mylar skirt on them, seems to do the trick. We're actually both hooked up here. I'm on the front of the boat, going to be coming. You're going to see my fish coming in the picture in just a second. Greg here has got a double header on his spec rig. In a second here, I'm going to talk about a couple other rigs that you can get on when you're getting on a bluefish blitz. Again, sometimes the adage is that bluefish will bite on kind of anything, but I've not always found that to be the case, and here's just some of our go-to favorites. As Seth goes to unhook his fish here, it's a good time to talk about some of the other lure options you can use. You always can go with something shiny like a spoon or some kind of metal. This is a Hatteras or Outer Banks style that he's using. On the screen you can see a diamond jig on the bottom, old school bucktail up top. All things that work, catch fish, and even a Hopkins spoon would work as well. As you can see here, we're using two different techniques of retrieve. I'm using a spec rig there, and I'm going to get the first fish here. And the retrieve that I'm going with is just a real straight, steady retrieve. You can see Greg here is doing some pretty aggressive jigging with a fast retrieve. It doesn't this time result in fish, but does occasionally work. If you're using a spec rig, sometimes just a steady retrieve, maybe some subtle jigging is best. He's using more of a tandem style rig with some bucktails on it. So jigging sometimes can add some more enticement there, especially when you're adding a twister tail or something like that. But again, you got to really change up your retrieve to see what the fish are keying on at that moment. As you can see, the sun's going down here, and this is probably going to be our last fish of the night. We did, however, take this back and just grill it up real nice and simple on the grill where we were staying. Some people say bluefish isn't good, but fresh, it's quite good. So one of these days we'll do a catch, clean, and cook on some fresh caught bluefish. Maybe we'll smoke it even. But subscribe and hope you enjoy.